Okay, you guys, we are here with Dara, Pollack, and Kunal, Arora. Guys, welcome to Seeing Other People.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
First and foremost, I have to say, you both suck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Except you don't, because you brought me incredible donuts.
Yes.
And wow, thank you.
I'm so happy you're not gluten-free, truly.
Literally,
Dara was like, oh, she's engaged, and I was like, maybe donuts were a bad idea. Maybe she's like, you know what I mean? Maybe she's like trying to, I don't know.
She's engaged, so no donuts.
No donut, yeah. I don't know, maybe like your calorie
diet,
counting, wedding diet. I don't know. I don't want to be like rude.
Listen, I wasn't going to say it, but today I was like, I'm going to take a rest day and not work out. And now I saw the donuts and I'm like, ooh, maybe I should work out.
No. Eat all the donuts. I want to picture selfie crumbs everywhere.
Every single one.
Everyone,
okay. I'll do a taste test. I'll let you know which flavors are 10 out of 10.
I want to bite in each one of those donuts and like a photo in
it. Fine.
We got real aggressive with this.
Okay, so you guys host the You Both Suck podcast.
Yes.
I was not being an asshole. Dara, you're a food
I don't
person.
really know what I do.
You are you are both comedians?
He's more like a real comedian.
Okay.
I dabble in comedy in a different way. Like I'll do skits and stuff sometimes, as you've maybe seen on my Instagram. But I'm not...
I'll say it. Dara's a phenomenal content creator and a just wide range of everything. She started more in food, but now has pivoted towards content creation in a wide variety, and it's really funny and it's really interesting stuff. And I like a lot of the content she does. I'm more of a traditional stand-up, so I generally do that, and that's where my skill set is.
Okay.
Wow.
But then we complement each other.
Can you do me next?
Yeah.
Seriously, this is insane. Okay.
This is insane.
Keep going.
I need a moment.
Yeah.
He was so good yesterday.
Oh.
He was just breaking through the donut.
Of course.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't finish that last crumb.
I mean, I'm upset.
This is but I told you, this is my key to success. People ask me all the time, what do you do to stay thin? It's portion control.
That's what it is?
I'm not even kidding.
That's
Sometimes
crazy.
I know.
I'm not a portion control.
But that's literally the only way I've been able to manage my weight, because when I started food blogging
I'm portion irresponsible.
Well, listen, okay? I'm just saying, when I started food blogging like full time, I gained a bunch of weight and I had to learn how to portion control.
Yeah, when you started, I watched you food blog, I go, she better get fat. She better get dumb fat.
Yeah.
That was great that you guys just kept this going. I don't even have to edit that out now. Thank you. Wow.
Anytime. And people do ask me that a lot with the food. So I'm like, there's a nice little tip for everybody. It really is a lot of portion control.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's the one thing. I wanted to work at our ice cream froyo place in high school. My mom was like, Lana.
Yeah.
No.
She's like, you're not going to make it.
And in hindsight, she was right.
Yeah.
Of course.
I have no portion control whatsoever. If it's in front of me, I will eat it.
Yes.
It takes practice. I'm not gonna lie. It takes practice. Like I said, I gained weight and I learned. I was like, this is how I can enjoy literally everything I want to enjoy, just not all of it. You know what I mean? That's it. So,
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hopefully some of that rubs off on me.
I'm more impressed by your spiel about.
Of course.
Thank
that
you.
was great.
Yes, and we went to high school together, and then
I was gonna ask how you guys met.
Yeah, we went to high school together, and then I think we sort of like stayed in the periphery of each other. Yeah, like not really. I would say we weren't hanging out.
No, you have to tell her the story.
Well, I'll get to that in a second. Okay. But like, so then we did that, but then that's how we always knew of each other. But I met her through a friend of ours because Dara was in a car accident.
Yeah, when I was 17, I got hit by a car.
A buddy of ours was like, hey, I'm going to go visit this girl. She went to our school, and then she got hit by a car, and then I go to visit her from time to time. And I go, dude, you're giving me a ride home either way. So I'll come. You want to visit? Yeah, if you want to visit some girl laid up in a bed, that sounds weird, but I'll do it.
Literally, they just showed up, and our friend was like, oh, I brought my friend Kunal. Is that cool? And I was just like, I mean, I can't go anywhere. I can't object to this. I was laid up in bed. So I was just like, sure. Yeah. And then, we kept in touch, but we're never really close. And then I knew he lived in either Williamsburg or Greenpoint, because he was always like popping up in my DMs every now and then. If I was eating something in Williamsburg or Greenpoint, I'd be like, where's that from?
Yeah.
I was just like,
I was looking for promo codes.
This fucking guy.
Give me a promo code.
Good strategy. Why not?
Yeah, right?
And, so then when I came up with the idea for the podcast, I really wanted a co-host, because I wanted to do it myself at first, but then I was like, it's a debate topic. It's a debate podcast. So I was like, and I would like a guy to be the, other person, because I was like, how many, do we really need more girl podcasts?
Or guy podcasts.
Like
so
there's a lot.
many guy podcasts.
So, and then I don't know, it just kind of popped up in my head. I was like, maybe Kunal would be a good.
Well, she's like working on stand-up now. And so she called me, and I put out the thing. It was like, if you want any advice, hit me up. And we had a conversation, and then she'd said to me afterwards, she's like, you said a lot of things that indicate you went to therapy.
Yes.
And that to me was like, oh, cool, that's nice. That feels real.
That's like great, a big compliment.
Right?
You worked on yourself, introspective.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was like, shout outs to Danielle, shout outs to Beverly, shout outs to Peter, all the therapists.
All the therapists.
Yeah, shout outs to Jesse. Everyone's getting a holler.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's really sweet for you to notice. And then she's like, I think it would really work. And then, we're still very trashy because we're Queens people.
Yeah.
But then also there's a lot of work. So we'll say stuff like reframe.
Yes.
He
used the word reframe a lot. That's why I was like, he's been to therapy. You can just tell.
Oh, yeah. Mindset shifts. Yeah.
Exactly.
All that.
There we go.
I've been there too.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, exactly. So that's how it happened. Yeah.
So first of all, the podcast is amazing.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
But for those who are less familiar with you, guy and a girl sitting here on my couch, you guys have known each other for a very long time now.
Yes.
Has it always been platonic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And like I said, we've known each other for a long time, but we were not close after high school. Like I knew, we have some mutual friends and stuff, but I mean, how many times have I seen you over the last 10 years? I feel like not twice.
Forget 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
I would say probably less than 5 times.
Literally, yes.
Less
I
than
went
5
to see him do comedy at Caroline's.
Yes, that was a terrible
many
show.
moons ago. Amazing.
Yeah.
And then and that's like really
I think that was it. And then it's always been it's just like the thing is now that we got reacquainted with each other. I will say this though, a lot of friends who are, male friends that are single, and they're like, oh, your co-host, good looking gal. And I go, please stop. 1, 2. But the other thing is, I'm going to be honest, you do remind me of my girlfriend.
Oh,
so it's just like there's that familiarity. So it's also like, all right, I can see that.
Well, hold on. Why don't we want to set up your friends with Dara?
Because my friends are like they're trash.
This is what he always says.
So that pisses me off because first I have 2 older brothers.
Sure.
And I'm not single now, but for a long time I was. And one of my brothers, he's 2 years older than me, Brian, a lot of his friends are really good looking and are exactly the types of guys that I wanted to date.
Right. Sure.
And I would always ask him, and a lot of them were single. I'm like, set me up with this friend, set me up with that friend. Like, do you have any friends you can set me up with? He's like, I don't trust any of my friends with you. I'm like, it's literally come on.
No. There's a key difference here.
Yeah.
Trust is a completely different thing. Okay.
Okay.
I do trust these guys, but I know they're irresponsible. And irresponsible to me is like not a good fit.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
so
to be fair, he also does have a lot of comic friends, and
that too.
I am not a big fan of dating comedians. I mean, I hear a lot of bad stories.
Yes.
I'm already, old and single out here, and it's tough enough as it is. I'm not sure I want to necessarily dive into that pool.
Do you want to date somebody who's like gone all the time, in always working in bars at night,
right?
Just like living it's a schedule thing.
I think actually for me, because he knows also I'm like in bed by 10:30, 11.
You and me both,
right?
It's the way to live.
Sorry, it's just how I live, and that's another reason I struggle. By the way, with doing stand-up comedy is like, especially when you're starting out, you got to do like 11:30 p.m. spots. I'm like literally never. So but that is one thing I'll say is it's just a scheduling thing. It probably wouldn't work. But listen, if somebody came along, I'd be open to it. But.
Yeah, I think right now the friends that I would set her up with are in relationships.
Got it.
So there is that too.
Fair.
I did ask that.
Yeah, it's about. Was that little hair right there? I don't know who's. I don't know if
mine.
that's.
It's
yours,
probably
mine or my dog. It's
I shed a lot.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I shed to the point where like I've gone to my doctor and been like, "Am I okay?"
Yes. Right. No. Same. Okay. You look also. You have like fine hair like me, probably, right?
So thin.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Same.
Can't hold a curl for the life of me.
No, nothing. And my ponytails look like rat tails.
Oh yeah. There's nothing here.
Yeah,
there's nothing
here. It's a thin situation.
But then my friends with thick hair are they're like, no, it's not fair. Your hair dries in 10 minutes.
I mean, that's
you don't
true.
have to do
Nobody
it. I'm
wants to hear that.
I'm like, but
I have no
I can't do
volume.
anything with it. It's just this all the time.
All the time.
Anywho, not what we're here to talk about.
Sorry. Yes.
Wanted to kick things off in you both suck fashion with a kill fuck marry.
Amazing.
Ready?
Yay.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
I've commandeered your dog. I'm just want to let you know right now.
He's yours now.
Yeah,
Bye, Barkley. Have fun.
This is good. I'm so happy.
He's so happy. Who's happier?
I don't know who's happier.
I don't know, actually. It's a
if
good
you
question.
scanned both of our brains, it'd be the same equivalent.
That's so euphoric.
Yeah.
Okay. Dinner dates, drink dates, activity dates.
I have a clarifying question.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is this a first date?
This is somewhere
In the middle.
The first few dates.
Okay.
You're not in a relationship.
Okay, but
not
so
in a
drinks,
relationship.
dinner, and activities.
Yes.
Okay, hang on a second.
Oh my God, this is really okay.
I mean, I know which one I'm killing immediately, but
Okay.
it's the other two that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
All right.
It's tricky business. Do you have yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You go. I'm pondering. I'm
Okay.
almost there.
I'm gonna have to say kill dinner dates. Meal too long. I've once gotten into a fight with somebody before appetizers. Now we're just,
About what?
This wasn't somebody I was on a date with.
You're
but
a
it was
ridiculous
like,
person.
still, but it was like we weren't dating. But still, what if we were? Imagine fighting with somebody before appetizers.
But I still want to know what the fight was about.
I do
Fight-
too.
It was just like I felt like I was being misled.
Okay.
And I didn't like it, so I called it out. And I maybe should have pulled back. And I can take some ownership.
If you see something, say something.
Right? This is exactly.
I get you.
However,
Right.
you set yourself up to fail. You knew you were sitting down and just barely having appetizers.
I understand.
You're
that.
the problem.
Okay, relax. I don't know whose side you're on, but it's suspicious.
On the side of dinner, but
Okay.
whatever.
well,
Dinner's too long.
dinner is too long.
Okay.
Kill it. I'm done. No. I would have to say fuck drink date. Fuck the drinks date. I'm not a big, I don't drink in America. That's my rule.
What?
This is the
Yes.
most elitist sounding
I know
thing,
it is. It's
by
so
the way.
elite sounding. I don't like to drink in America. That's my new rule.
So you're not California sober. You're
Well,
America sober.
I'm
yeah.
America sober.
America
I'm
sober.
America sober. So when I go on
Hilarious.
vacation, if you go to Italy and you don't try the wine,
yeah.
it's sacrilegious.
Yeah.
Right.
I did just go to Italy and drink a lot of wine.
See what
There
I'm
you go.
saying?
You gotta do
Of
it.
course.
Yeah.
It'd be wrong. I'd be like, did you even go to Italy?
True.
Right. So stuff like that. You go to other countries, you got to experience the culture, and I think that involves their alcohol. Sure. So that's why do that. But you have, and I think you have to marry the activity date. You learn so much.
Horrible take.
You learn
Just
so much
horrible
on the
take.
activity. You learn about, let's say, for example, you go axe throwing. You learn if they're strong or not. You learn how they handle
Okay,
themselves.
no, I'm sorry.
No,
Strength
yeah.
and
Yeah.
axe throwing ability, there is no correlation.
Yeah,
To a
it
good
is.
relationship,
There's a
there is
strength.
No
nothing.
correlation.
There's
no
a
correlation.
strength right there.
Okay, but
No.
when are you ever working out in this motion?
Yeah.
I
True.
understand that.
And also, yeah. I'm sorry.
why
go ahead.
work out if you're not gonna learn to do activities that require an axe to be thrown? Or
You know
something.
what? Okay.
Yeah.
PSA to everyone: if you're planning on going on an axe throwing date,
Yes.
go to the gym and practice
Yeah.
chucking
Good.
15-pound weights first.
It's literally, and it's difficult.
Otherwise, you're going to be judged on your strength.
I understand that. You may not have a good axe thrower instructor.
It
That's
has
also
no
that too.
correlation to like what makes a good partner.
It's
in
no
any
an
way.
activity lets you know. It lets you know their patience. It lets you know everything about them. There's so much that is revealed in an activity that you want to know these things. And that's why I think you got to marry that because it gives you a clear picture.
I
Yeah.
don't disagree
Yeah.
with that explanation.
Sure.
But I also
Same.
don't sit there psychoanalyzing somebody's
Same.
form.
I think
Same.
we're okay.
It depends on the activity.
It does depend on the activity, and you
There's
guys
that.
clearly have had bad axe throwing sessions, and I'm not here to judge.
It's really hard.
It is tough. I
And it
understand that.
shows.
I get that.
It's
And I
very
think that you
difficult.
might have had a bad axe instructor, a bad axe master, if I may. And as somebody who used to be one, I can adjust those things. Yeah. I used
Yeah.
to be an axe master. But the point is,
What?
yeah,
Wait, hold on. I just glazed over that. Are you serious?
yeah. Tell people.
See, this is why it's fun on our podcast, if
Yeah.
I may plug it, because
Yeah.
we don't know that much about each
Yeah.
other.
Right, yes.
I find out stuff about him all the time that's bananas like this.
Yes.
What are you talking
She
about?
doesn't. Yeah, when she told me she doesn't eat lox that often, I was like, "What am I? How am I with a crazy person? I'm getting on the train with a lunatic."
I'm
Who
a
eats locks often?
I mean,
Okay.
just still.
Thank you, but
there's
I'm
gotta
half
be a
Jewish,
love for lox,
And I'm half Jewish too, so I think it's like a New York half Jew. You would think eats lox and bagels, and I just
Yes.
don't. I wasn't raised with it. My dad doesn't eat them, so
Right.
I'm not a lox person. I
Isn't
know,
lox
it's
of
weird.
love
Okay.
about lox?
Listen,
Anyway. You see my point, though.
it's an acquired taste. that
Yes.
You didn't grow up
Okay.
with. Fair.
Understandable.
Yeah, fish
But
in
it's
the
like to
morning.
find that
Anyway.
out. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're
You know,
constantly finding stuff out. So
Yes.
no, you were
I
an
love it.
axe master.
I was an axe master. I used to teach people how to throw axes.
I don't even know what that means. You Zelda?
No, like
Did you work at
an axe throwing place.
Oh, that's wild.
I was a freelance guy. Imagine me freelance axe throwing. I'm on Craigslist. Anybody interested in throwing axes?
Oh my God.
That'd be psychotic. But no, I used to teach people how to throw axes. It was a job. But like it's a good activity date because you get to see a lot about the person. Even if they're not good at it, it's fine. How they handle it says a lot about them. If they have a positive attitude, it says a lot about them. Yeah. If they're not good and they can acknowledge that I suck at this, that's okay too. Okay. And this is not gender specific.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
I've seen plenty of women whip some dude's ass in axe throwing, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I mean, so at first I was going to kill the activity date.
Oh, wow.
I was going to, but then I also remember that you said first few dates, because for a first date, I hate an activity date.
Really?
Get the fuck out of here. I'm not going hiking. I'm not going hiking on a first date. Every guy wants to go hiking now. Like, enough.
Hiking? Wait, it's just where?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, where's everybody doing this? Central Park. That's not hiking, first of all.
That's okay.
It's walking.
Also, even if you do live in a place where hiking is a common thing.
Sure.
Just from a safety perspective, probably not the best idea.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's also just, I'm not into, I have a leg injury, so there is that. I'm not doing physically straining activities on a first date. But I do agree with you that within the first few dates, you do learn a lot about the person depending on what the activity is. So I was going to fuck the activity date. Okay. And then I was going to marry dinner because food, insane that you killed it, whatever. I mean, I'm a foodie. I love to eat. But I also don't do dinner for a first date. That's
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does your phone eat first on a date?
Okay, so usually not.
Great question.
Thank you.
Great question.
Yes, fantastic question. Yeah. I do get asked this a lot. Never on a first date. I think it's a little weird.
You hide it. Interesting.
I absolutely do.
Okay.
I absolutely do. Because, it's also different when you're like an influencer too. I usually hide that, but by the second date, they know. If they don't know already, then they'll know by the second date. Just because here's the thing, this has happened. We're gonna get off on a tangent here, but just as an aside,
we're never gonna get to what we were talking about. I'm
so sorry.
Okay with that.
No, I'm sorry. I will make it quick, but it's
in general, that's great. I love it. Keep going.
Sorry. Yes, but as an aside, because it feels uneven when the other person can deep dive on my Instagram profile and find out everything about me within 5 minutes, and I don't know nothing about them. You know what I mean? So that's why I keep it a secret on the first date. That's why the phone does not eat first on the first date. But after that, and I have done it on a first date. It depends on how much the vibe is there, If I feel like they're cool and they know what I do, I'll sometimes do it. Or sometimes they'll offer, which I think is cute. They'll be like, do you want to
do this? Yes, and then they'll it'll be cool for them to see you at work.
Sometimes it's cute.
Pressure's on, but it's all good.
Exactly. Yeah. So sometimes, but most of the time I don't do it on a first date. So that's why married dinner, because you gotta have dinner. People gotta eat. And then killing drinks, because you can have drinks with dinner.
That is true.
So that's my rationale.
I'm aligned there, I think.
Okay, amazing. Yay!
Okay, all right.
Kunal's crazy. What else is new?
I understand. But just the dinner can be sometimes so treacherously long.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And stuff gets revealed to you over the course of a meal, and you're like, oh my God.
But I feel like it's the same thing with an activity, though. And sometimes activities can be even longer, because if it's something...
You're doing mini golf and you're on hole 6 and you 100%. Find out something you don't like.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, understandable. No, listen, you're right. I think an activity can have that length of a dinner situation.
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing.
Right. I love the drinks, then dinner, then activity.
Same.
3 separate dates pipeline.
100%.
Yes. That is a perfect form.
Absolutely.
Perfect formula. Love it.
Yes. 100%. I also think I just said 100%, and I don't know where that
100%.
100%. But yes, that is exactly the way I do things. Drinks, dinner, activity.
I love it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you guys are about to learn more about each other.
Oh my God, amazing.
We are going to play my favorite game called Where Do You Draw the Line?
Oh, I've heard of this.
It is great. It's great for dates. It's great for podcast hosts getting to know each other.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay. So basically the way it works, there are 2 types of cards. There's dip your toes and there's take the plunge.
Okay.
Dip your toes are a little more casual. Take the plunge are a little more, have you been to therapy? Intense.
Amazing.
So on each card, there's a scenario, and the options for us to respond to are deal breaker, red flag, indifferent, or that's me.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
I get it. Who goes first?
I went first last time, so you should go. Okay, dip your toes. Okay, play it safe. I see.
Okay. Oh, they have a privacy screen protector.
Ooh.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That to me is, I think that is a bit of a red flag. Yeah.
I think I'm aligned on that one. I don't love it. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a little bit of like, what are you
You better tell me why.
100%.
Yeah. Are you hiding something from me or from someone else?
Yeah.
If so, why?
And I can understand someone else. I can.
It depends on maybe your job sometimes. I could see that.
If you have
on
a
what
lot of
do.
stuff on your phone that's like kind of sensitive to that situation, and I get it. But at the same time, I kind of want to be a little aware.
Yeah. I think I'm aligned on that one.
Yeah.
I remember when I had a corporate job, some people did have them, like very few, like 1 in every 10. And it would piss me off so much. I'm like, who do you think you are? Your job is not that much more important than mine.
So
that
true.
Other people can't see from the side what you're doing.
Yep.
Right.
So true.
And half the time, how much of it even involves the job?
Yeah.
Maybe you're just texting and you just don't want to know that you're distracted. You don't want me to know you're distracted.
But we're
That's
all
true.
texting.
That's
Who
true.
cares?
Yeah, I agree. It's
a red flag.
a little bit of a red flag. Don't love
Okay.
it. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Taking the plunge.
Take the plunge.
I'm brave. I'm Kunal.
They ask you to split the bill on a first date. Oh.
I pulled
this
this
is-
one on purpose.
This is amazing.
Is my disclaimer.
Oh. All right. I think that that's me. That's me. Yeah. Let me know right off the top where you stand financially. I don't want to be in situations where I got myself in my early 20s where I messed up. Like, I've made so many mistakes where I've dated girls and I should have been clear about this. I should have been like, man, we should go Dutch. And instead, one time I dated a girl and I paid for the first few dinners. And then I tried to convince her to plan a date so I could make her pay.
Yeah. We have this on one of our episodes, and he explains the whole story, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
It was like what was a standoff?
It was a standoff. Like she wasn't, if I had just been honest with her, it would have been so much easier than me going, you plan the date, you plan it. I'll just sit back and and it was so stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that I should have been like, yo, why don't we split the bill?
Yeah.
Do you think she knew why you were pushing for her to plan the date?
No.
Good
no,
question.
we were the same age. We were both in our mid-20s, and I think we were both sort of like, and I could have just been honest about it.
Or you could have just planned cheaper dates.
That too.
Ooh,
that
good
too.
point.
Right.
Yeah.
Or cheaper dates. And I
Yeah.
think that she would have been cool with it. But you know what it is? It was my insecurity.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
my
you were trying to be
inability.
like the big man and like
Yeah,
take her out
of
to nice
course,
places,
of
probably,
course.
which I respect. But,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was trying to be all that. And then I realized I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
This is all me. So I say
That's
ask.
you.
Ask away.
So-
split.
Yeah, I think that's a deal breaker for me. Here's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like weird because I will always offer on the first date, but I only insist on paying when I know in the back of my head that I am never going to see that person again. Does that make sense?
Have guys let you?
Literally, I think one time a guy let me because I think he felt it too. It was just we were not vibing. It wasn't contentious, but it was just kind of like you could tell we were both bored, and I insisted on paying my half because I felt like you shouldn't have to pay for this. I'm not going to see you again. I don't think you want to see me either. But yeah, most of the time they will still pay. But yeah, I gotta say, if I was like into a guy and we were vibing and everything was going well, I do like it when they pay on the first date. I'm sorry, I do. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, sorry.
Oh, you think you know somebody? Yeah. Take the balcony.
Yeah, listen.
No,
sorry.
I agree. It's nice. It
feels nice.
It feels nice. It makes you feel special.
Yeah.
I had a listener recently write in that she had a first date and like she knew she wasn't really going to see him again.
Yeah.
He paid, and then when he followed up to like ask her out again, she sent like that anti-ghosting text. He Venmo requested her for half of the meal.
Ooh. See, now I think that's petty as shit.
Yeah,
though.
no shit.
That's crazy.
Boy, just squeaked.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I think if
Don't do it,
hear me
man.
out. Hear me out.
Hearing you out.
If he prefaced it, if he had sent a response text like, "Listen, I completely understand that."
No.
Would it be cool? Would it be cool? Is that okay?
I'm like, bro, we're here to
But how can you
promote
say
the pod.
no? That doesn't like would it be cool if I Venmo'd you? If it's not cool to me, what am I gonna say no?
You just say no.
We're
but
not
then
good
that's
at that.
weird.
You're
No,
not-
that's
well,
weird.
Then why not? Why can't we just be open about these things?
Okay,
why
well-
can't we just be upfront about these things? If you think, I know, because of course it's hard. Life isn't easy.
Well, actually, this is what our pod is about: is
Yeah.
like conflict, resolution, and trying to confront things that are uncomfortable. But this is a tough one because, honestly, in my opinion, I don't know. To me, like if the guy was that No, I still think that was a move. I think that was just a petty move.
It is petty.
To get back at her for rejecting him. I don't think that that's something that a normal person would do. I'm sorry.
I understand that. It is petty to just hit me with the straight Venmo request.
Right.
But if we're talking, if I send a follow-up text with, I completely understand your point of view, and I agree in a lot of ways. I was wondering, would it be cool if I had sent you a Venmo request for half the bill?
You gotta take that L.
I gotta take the L?
Absolutely. You gotta take the L.
That's wild.
Well, because also, again,
making me drown out here is what you're making me do. Take the plunge. I can't swim. All right, now you're making me drown out.
I'm a lifeguard.
Good.
Or I was a long time ago.
You better still be able to swim. Help me out.
We can move on. Sorry. Okay, but anyway.
All right, that's fine. Understandable.
Am I picking or are you picking?
I'll go for it.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
Yes, play it safe.
I'm going to see you take the plunge from you next.
I'm scared. It's getting heated in here. Oh. They go on more than 5 first dates a month.
Oh, huge red flag to me. Actually, wait.
That was me.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I was quick to respond, but it depends actually, because in a month, I thought you were going to say a week.
Yeah, 5 in a week is crazy.
5 in a week is insane.
That's exhausting. That's an Olympic sport.
Yeah, that's
literally.
It's like a fitness class. Like this is too much.
I mean, it's still a little bit for me. It is still a lot, but maybe it's not that.
What are
crazy.
my options here again?
Deal breaker, red flag, indifferent. That's me.
Okay.
I think for me it would be a red flag. I think.
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
5 dates in a month is that's one a week.
Yeah, I guess
that's one a week, depending on the.
How many dates are you going? I feel like.
I mean, first of all, I'm not dating right now. Yeah. I'm taking a break.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I'm just like it's
5 seems insane to somebody who's not dating at all.
That's why I'm saying. Yeah. I'm like, you know what?
I'm in a relationship. We probably get 1 in a week.
Let me pull back. Yeah, I mean, it's between indifferent and red flag for me. I think. Yeah.
What do you think?
That was me.
Yeah, that's you.
Okay.
You think 5 in a? Yeah, I think that's fine.
If it's once a week, I guess that's fine.
I'm indifferent. I'm not. It wouldn't be. I think I do. We try to get 1 a week. I don't think we hit that mark, but we try to because I work at nights. But I would say that makes. I think I'm indifferent. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's just.
If you like somebody, you like somebody.
Oh, but I thought you meant different people.
Yeah, first dates.
First dates.
Oh, 5 first dates.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. It's a little. It's not crazy. But
I'm still indifferent. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in between indifferent and red flag.
Yeah. I think it's all right.
We'll take it. Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. I am going to take the plunge this time.
You better.
Hang on. They share a studio apartment. I feel like age plays into everything here. This play,
100%.
We're almost 40.
Yeah.
For me, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Breaker?
That's a deal breaker.
I think that might be
a deal
breaker.
That's a deal breaker.
I think that's a deal breaker.
A studio apartment?
Studio is crazy. I know it's New York, but that's crazy.
You know what studio apartment is for 2 people sharing? That's a prison.
Yeah,
it is
literally.
It's a prison. It's
and also, how are they?
It's a dorm.
How are they sleeping? What is somebody sleeping on the
twin
couch
bed on each side?
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
no.
That's
no. You got it. I don't care if the bedroom is a 6x10. I don't
Deal
care.
breaker, yeah.
Sleep in the tub. I don't
but,
care.
Hold on. Yeah. Let me play devil's advocate.
Sure.
Because you were just saying you couldn't afford to pay for dates.
I understand that. But I think
in your 20s, though.
Yes, in your 20s.
In my 20s, granted. And I think even now, I sort of, as a comic, it's such a wild lifestyle financially. But I still think your home life has to be somewhat grounded. Living in New York City, especially, your home life has to be grounded. I tell a lot of people that come to the city, they're like, what advice can you give me? And I go, your home life has to be set. You can't be living on couches. You can't be living in apartments that are real filthy. If not, it's gonna drive you crazy.
Yeah.
You got to get your house get your house in order. Get your house in order.
It also helps push you forward, I think.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. So I feel like if you're coming home to somebody that you live with and you're in a studio, I feel like you can't feel great about yourself in that situation.
No.
At our age, anyway.
No.
So
deal breaker.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at saying deal breaker. Like, I don't know why it makes me feel like a bad person.
Did we convince you?
But yes.
We're bad influences.
Also, like, don't live in New York City. I'm sorry. Like,
I agree completely.
Jersey is fine. Deep Queens is fine. We won't ever go, but it's fine. Westchester's fine.
I mean, all those places you just said are still going to be expensive.
Yeah,
sure. I know.
Yeah, like Westchester.
I get it.
Do you know what the taxes are?
I get it. I still
get out of here.
South Jersey is fine.
But I agree with that. I actually went on a date with somebody not last year, I think, that was older than me, so in their 40s, and had a roommate, and I did not like that. I really didn't. And I'll be honest with you though, if things were going well and like I really liked him, I might have been able to push past it, but it did bug me. So
then, did you think that played a part in why you didn't like this?
No, because I was already feeling like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this before. And then when I found that out, it just kind of tipped it over the edge.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So
that's understandable.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do one more. Okay.
Sure.
Go for it.
All right, I'm going to do a dip the toes.
Oh,
All
right,
I'll take the plunge. Here we go.
Yay.
They don't go to therapy. I mean, this feels like... Just, the flag couldn't get bigger, couldn't get redder. I don't care who you are.
Okay.
I want references from a therapist that says you are mentally sound. Okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to throw another caveat. If you're in therapy for too long, that's another issue.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's also a problem. If you're in therapy forever... What is this?
Well, that's...
I think a lot of people can benefit from that.
They can, but there's got to be an expiration. There's got to be a time where you venture out into the world with the tools that you have learned, and you go, it's time to see what this is, what I can do.
I think that
Spread your wings and fly, girl.
Take off the training wheel.
Take off the training wheel. How many?
Yeah, I somewhat agree with that you need to take breaks, but I don't think you need to just cut it off completely and never go back.
I'm not saying you close the door entirely.
Right.
I've left therapy and gone back multiple times.
Yeah.
But I still think that there has to be a point in your life where you have to go, listen, did you not train me to be good in this world?
Well, because it does become sometimes a crutch. And I've said this about myself, too. So I was placed in therapy from a very young age. And I say placed because...
Yeah, I was going to say, whoa.
Yeah. It was the car accident. I got hit by a car when I was 17, and I was a dancer. I almost lost my leg from the knee down. So it was a very traumatic injury. It was right before all my dance auditions, Juilliard and whatnot. And I'm not copying Save the Last Dance for anyone who's
You turned out
wondering.
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Without Juilliard.
Turned out okay. But it was obviously a devastating thing, and I was severely depressed. So they were like, you need to go to therapy. And I was 17, so I couldn't say no. So I loved it, though. But at the first, probably first few sessions, I sat there just like, I'm a kid. I don't care. And then eventually I was like, I really enjoyed it and I needed it. And I definitely needed it all through my teens, all through my early 20s. Yeah. Not to say I was just perfect and everything was fine, but I needed to be in it for longer than you know what I mean?
I balked at therapy younger. I was like, people who go to therapy are crazy.
Right.
Growing up in an Indian household, going to therapy was looked down upon as snitching.
Yeah.
My family's like, why are you talking about our secrets?
Right.
And I go, this is insane. And then a lot of therapy, the problem with therapy in a way is that what you're supposed to do is initially the advice your parents tell you, but it's only when you do it on your path, right? They always go, why don't you just let it go? And I go, yeah, I got to do that. I got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you do that in therapy, and then they're like, see, you let it go. And I go, no. Don't try to take all the, I get it. But I come from a history of where therapy was looked down upon. But I think it's necessary and vital, but I also think you can go too far and you have to get out from time to time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying permanently close the door, but see what
I love a therapist's take on this.
Yeah, same. I would love that too.
If a therapist said you need to keep going forever, I'd be a little suspicious.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I know with my last therapist, I felt like it got to a point where we both knew I had gotten kind of all I was going to get out of that. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, took a break. But I do enjoy therapy. So it's like, I would be in it. Also, if it wasn't so damn expensive in New York, especially when you work for yourself.
Point blank asked my therapist, do you think I'm good without you now?
Yeah.
And she said, to be honest, I do.
That's interesting.
And I said, okay.
I feel like that's healthy.
Yeah. And she said, I think it's time for me to get going. And she was like, I understand. And she's like,
and then she put on your backckpack and waved to you as you got on the school bus.
You got on the school bus?
Yeah, literally. That's what it sounded like.
It's so sad, but I'm nearly 40, so I'm hitchhiking. I'm like out there in the street.
We'll pick you up.
Yeah. But and she, once I asked her that question, and that kind of gave me more confidence to go, I think it's time to go.
Yeah, it becomes a crutch sometimes. I can understand that. And like I said, that's where I sort of ended up.
Also, she stopped taking my insurance, and I was like, "Well, this is another.
That must be
another reason too."
Okay,
that must be nice.
I was still gonna pay, but I was
what
like,
it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think that also helps. It also helps.
It does.
But
It gives you a push out the door. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think if someone doesn't go to therapy, I think that's like I'm indifferent to that. It would be a red flag if they were not open to the idea of therapy, and it would be a deal breaker if they judged me for going to therapy.
That's what we are exactly aligned. I'm like, I'm kind of indifferent because I'm not saying that I think sometimes I feel like everybody in New York needs it, but I don't know. I'm mostly like, I'm not going to judge you for not going. However, if like the more I get to know you and I'm sensing a bunch of things that I'm like, you probably should be in therapy, and then they're not, and then they're anti, that's when I'm like, I'm out. Then it's a deal breaker. So
Agreed.
Same page.
Agreed.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, I thought you were going to do one. All right.
No, I think that was the last one.
No,
I mean, listen, we could keep doing this.
I knew. I thought everybody did too, right?
I think we did.
Yeah, I just pulled, so I think it's your turn.
It's your podcast.
Yeah, it's your I'm sorry. I just
That's okay.
I want to know. You're fascinating.
All right.
I'm fascinated
Which
by
one?
you. Yeah, I take the plunge. I'm not going to take the plunge the entire time.
Ooh. Okay, this one's a wild card.
Okay.
What was the biggest red flag in your last relationship?
Oof.
You're going to have to take some time and think about that.
Yeah, you've been in a relationship, what, 9 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, I'm a dick. I can't.
No, I can automatically tell you the red flag in my last relationship was me. It was me.
Look at this
It was
self-awareness.
1,000% me. It was my inability. I could admit when I'm wrong, but I had to be fought on it. It took me a while to do that. It was, you know what it was? It was my lack of sympathy and empathy for the other person. It was my inability. It was always unable to see where what she was going through, what she had dealt with, and instead it was always letting my own bullshit get in the way. So that was the biggest red flag in the relationship was me.
Interesting.
Easy
Good
to
for
answer.
you.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'm not going to say that about myself. No, I mean, I've definitely been the problem in many of my relationships, but my last one, honestly, I think about it often because he just up and left, ghosted. Like we were.
So your last one was the big.
Oh, the big breakup. Yeah, I don't know if you.
Blindside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote this blog
Steve.
post. Yep, Steve, Scuba Steve. And I wrote about that, and he just like woke up one day and was like, I don't love you anymore and I'm leaving. And we lived together and whatnot. So it was like literally one of those things that I thought about all the time. I'm like, where were the red flags here? And it's still kind of hard to pinpoint, but I guess that he was avoidant by nature, but I did always feel like he was honest with me, but that's the problem, is that he was not really being honest with me. But what am I supposed to do? Just assume that every man I'm with is a liar? You know, like I spent my 20s doing that. So it was like, I felt like I met somebody finally who, was a little avoidant, but seemed really honest with me. So what was I going to do? Just, constantly sit there and be like, no, you're lying. So I think that was maybe the biggest red flag, is maybe I should have done a little bit more temperature checks to see.
Right.
And maybe pressed a little more. But it's also like, you don't want to be that woman.
You shouldn't have to press.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to be like a nag. You don't want to be that woman that's like, how are you doing? What are you thinking right now? Like, that's why I didn't.
He could have been open about it.
He could have been more open about it. But I mean, maybe it was also something I was giving off that didn't make him want to do that. But, who knows? I don't really have the answers. But yeah, I think that was it.
I've been thinking about this the entire time you guys have been talking about what I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My last relationship was pretty short. It was like 4 or 5 months, but it was, he lived in LA. I lived in New York. We met when I was visiting a friend in LA.
Okay.
And then like 2 weeks later, he flew to New York to see me. So it was very like these like honeymoon trips.
Hot and
was
heavy.
every single time we would see each other. And we were always like flying across the country. And so I think what it came down to was, in the beginning, like I should have known this was not somebody who could be in a relationship at the time. Like his entire life was work and all of his goals were about his career.
Yeah.
And I was very supportive of that because I was in a very similar place.
Right.
And I felt really connected to what he was doing for his work. And so I was like, yeah, like I'm here to like cheerlead you on in that no matter what. And then he'd be too busy working where I wouldn't hear from him for like 24 hours. And I'd be like, it's okay. Like he's been, and I would just like
Make excuses
and let it happen. And when he broke up with me, it was over FaceTime. And he was like, I'm surprised that you haven't broken up with me yet.
Oh, so you think he was like trying to be a dick and push you away?
I think
as they tend to
he
do.
was like, this was a mistake. Like I can't be in a relationship right now. So I think I should have seen the signs from the beginning that like he didn't have the time to commit to this, but it seemed like he was putting in the effort until he wasn't.
Right. I get that. Yeah. And sometimes they can fool you and sometimes fool themselves. Like, I don't think all men are doing this maliciously.
No.
You know what I mean? I think he probably did like you, but it's also like just not enough. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate, but it is what happens a lot. So, yeah. I can see that.
I'm happy we pull that card.
Do you want to keep going?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just
let the podcast move on.
No, I know. I'm just happy we pulled that card though.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Because it was a good card to pull. I think that,
and
like,
it's
you know,
fun.
yeah.
It's fun.
All right.
Yeah.
We learned a lot about each other.
I pulled 3 listener questions.
Okay.
I thought we could talk through them.
All right.
We definitely only have time for like 1. Okay. We're going to talk forever. All right, guys.
I'm down.
Pick 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
Nope.
Pick.
They're too long for me to read.
Okay. All right.
Pick 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, your call.
I'm going with 3.
3? Okay, cool.
3? We doing 3?
We're doing 3?
All right.
I'm okay. I don't have an opinion.
I know. I'm like, I don't know what they are. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I love the pod and would love some big sister help. Guess what? You're getting big sister and big brother help today.
Yeah.
Even better. Okay. While I was in New York for work, a Hinge guy sent me a rose. We started chatting and eventually he asked for my number. We hit it off over text, but soon he sexualized the conversation. So I knew I could either end it or go in knowing he's not serious about me. I usually end things right away if the guy isn't serious, but this was my first time hitting it off with someone from an app and I hadn't liked anyone in real life in a while, so I decided to have fun. Long story short, we met up over a month later for the first time when I came back to New York. I hooked up with him. We didn't sleep together. He texted me right away when I got home, and we spoke until I left New York. On the plane, he texted me something, and I didn't respond because I was sleeping. We haven't talked since. It's been a week. I feel like an idiot, even though I knew it was casual. Hookup culture sucks. I thought I could handle this because I'm usually the one who ends things, but now I just feel really icky. It didn't help that he said the hookup was hot but a little unexpected, as if it was too soon and he wasn't thinking of that. I'm moving on, obviously, and will not do this again, but do we just never speak again? What do I do if he texts me eventually? I thought I wanted casual, but it's not for me, ? Or just ignore? Thanks for your advice.
Interesting. Okay.
How do you want to do this, big sis?
I mean, I don't know. I was just going to say right off the top, I feel like if he pops back up, I feel like you know why he's popping back up, unless he's got some kind of really compelling argument and is, apologetic about it and makes it genuine that he wants to see you again in some kind of genuine way. Otherwise, I feel like he might pop up for a hookup, in which case I would probably just ignore. It just sucks because a lot of that to me read like they were building a lot of an emotional connection before there was actually a physical one. Because didn't they say they were talking for like a month or something?
Yeah.
That's depending on how often you're talking. If let's say you're talking every day, that can really build something, especially in your mind.
It's very true.
So, I feel for her in that regard, but if she feels icky about the hooking up and it just doesn't sit well with her, and then he said that kind of shitty thing that it was like unexpected, fuck you, bro. Like that's the energy that I would put into that. But I that's kind of what I'm leaning towards.
I think in a lot of ways you got to understand, like, she thought she was about it and realized that she's not about it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You thought one way, this is going to be your thing, and then you realize maybe it's not for you. Got to try it before you buy it. And you're like, okay. Yeah. But this is not your jam. And that's cool. And now, if you want to, listen, if the guy reaches out and you want to set a boundary, great. If you want to ignore him, that's great too. Either way, if you want me to break both his legs, I will. As your big brother, I think I'm obligated to. But I think that ultimately,
Queen's mentality coming out right now.
Yeah, but I think that that's really what it comes down to. Yeah. Like, you figured out where your lines are, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that. Yeah, I don't want anyone to I hate when people feel like gross about it, because it's just like, you didn't know where you stood on all this.
Right, and now you know. And I think because that happened to me. I was the type that I was never like a one night stand person. I mean, I'm still not, and I've literally only done it once in my life, and maybe 1.5. What is the
half out here? What's the half? Yeah.
The half is like we did stuff, but we didn't fully sleep together. Okay.
Which sounds like the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like there's that. But I mean, I didn't do that until I was literally 29 or something. Like I was pretty, I guess in my head, I was like older to have that happen, where a lot of my friends were doing the one night stand thing from like college or even high school, some of them. And, I always felt like it wouldn't be for me. I always had a feeling it wouldn't. And then when I finally did it, I felt exactly like her. I felt kind of shitty. I regretted it. But I was just like, what am I going to do? Beat myself up about this forever? You learn from it. And I just said, I'm not going to do that again. And that's pretty much how it's been ever since. So.
Your friends were having one night stands in high school?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Are you kidding?
What?
Some of our friends.
100%.
With who?
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, other people in high school. Like I had friends who were sleeping together in junior high.
Yeah.
What?
I was not that person, but I do know some people who are like,
is it crazy to drop this knowledge that I lost my virginity at 13?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I found that out on a recent podcast episode too.
What?
It's Queens living.
It's really not.
It's
Don't
Queens
sully the good.
Yeah.
I grew up in Queens and I had sex with my boyfriend when I was 16.
That's
and we
not
loved
that
each
much
other.
different.
I was 17 and I even thought it was like early.
Yeah, and I think it was.
Do I think it was early? Yes.
16 and 13, by the way, is a big difference.
Yeah,
That's
I
a huge
get it.
difference.
I understand.
That is a huge.
I
That is a
understand.
world away.
I get it. I completely
You're
get
literally
it.
a year out from 12.
I get it.
Not even in
Not
teen.
even in teens
I'm
yet,
a tween.
dude.
I'm an elder tween.
Yeah, you were still eating fucking Trix yogurt when you had sex. Like,
First of all,
come on.
I wish I had Trix yogurt. But I think, listen, do I think about it now and go, that's a little too young? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is, some people just grow up faster in different areas, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it is
you know?
a product of your environment,
Of
too.
course.
Yeah,
But
anyway.
I still think the carrying the shame about it, only you can get rid of that.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't carry that shame.
100%.
Yeah, and I love what you said about setting a boundary. I think you'd be really proud of yourself if he does reach out to say, "Hey, like whatever, exactly what you said. Like I thought I was into casual, but I'm not.
But I'm
like,
not. And then
great
he should
meeting
respect
you, whatever,
that.
and hopefully he respects that. And also, we live and we learn. And I
Right,
think,
exactly.
you know what? You had this experience, you tried it out, you realized that's not for me, so you won't do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing. I understand feeling icky because I felt that way too. But you
Right.
didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything embarrassing.
Not at
You didn't
all.
do anything gross. You just
No.
tried something that a lot of people do, and it doesn't work for a lot of people, and it does for other people. And
Exactly.
whatever floats your boat.
I think it's in the same realm of when you talked about the text that you send instead of ghosting.
Yeah.
You'd posted about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the thing.
Right.
That's the way to, I think that's cool. It's all well and good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. She could go either way. It's like you could text and put up the boundary and say it, or you could also not. I think it depends, but I would be
100%.
either one on that, I think.
One more.
Yeah.
Let's do
All
it.
right, cool.
Yay.
Okay. One more.
Do we have to pick a number? We've only got 2 options.
got one or two.
One or two. You pick. I picked the last one.
Let's go with odds.
Yeah.
Let's go with number one.
Right.
I love a rule of thirds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to know your thoughts on how and when people do or don't share that they have a significant other. I met someone a couple months ago through school who I had several one-on-one conversations with and who proceeded to go out of his way to invite me to several different group activities, which I went to. All semester, I wondered if he was single or not and questioned how to interpret his actions. Eventually, I asked a mutual friend and found out he's dating someone who lives in another state. The subject of significant others never came up naturally in our conversations, but there were plenty of opportunities for him to go out of his way to disclose this. I really wish he had, and I wouldn't have spent the mental energy analyzing his behavior to figure out if he was sending me signals. As someone in a relationship, how do you navigate this when you meet new people? How would you have hoped that Jake would handle a similar situation?
Ooh. Yeah, man. Guys love that attention.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's what I was going to say.
I get it. They do. And then, but if you're a woman, I think you got to just point blank.
You gotta ask.
You got to ask.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a Band-Aid that just quick.
Or just like work it into the conversation.
Yeah.
Does your girlfriend like that?
Yeah. Yes. That's a great, it's slightly manipulative, but it is true.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. It's fine. And then and then you decide what you want to do from there. Right. If you want to still talk to this guy, that's your choice. Your call. And then you guys are all adults. It's fine. But I think that if nobody knows what it is, then we're in some murky territory.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like if it's like clear, like listen, this guy is clearly doing something.
Right.
You're okay with it. You're not okay with it. Your call.
Yeah.
I think I'd agree with that. I feel like it's just something you gotta ask, work it into the conversation. Also, though, I'm a little bit surprised that she wasn't able, not that I'm judging, but I'm surprised like social media, like you couldn't from that. I mean, if they're talking for that long, maybe maybe it's not like the focal point, especially if they were dating and maybe not in a relationship.
Jake didn't fucking post me on his Instagram for 2 years.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
Our first, I think the first post that I appeared in, he also doesn't post on Instagram.
Right. There's
like
those guys.
2019. The first post I appeared in is us getting engaged.
That's okay. That's fair. And I was just gonna say, my ex too. I should like remember this. He also was like not very active on social either, so that's true. But then I still feel like there are just ways to bring it up in the conversation. That's probably what I would do. However, I do also understand the side of like you guys where you're in relationships and you're like, I don't want this to sound like my relationship is my entire world and it has to be a part of every conversation.
Right. But that's why I think it's semester of conversations to not bring it up. Like
I agree.
That's sketchy, and
I think he likes the attention.
I think that's unfair to his girlfriend.
100%.
Yes, it is.
Like he is getting. There's a reason he hasn't communicated it. He likes the attention. He likes talking to you. He has some form of an emotional connection with you.
Right.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah. I think he likes the attention.
It's not good. It's not good. It's not a good thing. And listen, I'm not here to dunk on men, right? But I'm going to say it's not the best situation at all.
Yeah.
Kind of bad. But I think that at the same time, it's like sometimes you just got to, and also when it comes to social media, some people, if their focus is X, like the stuff that they post specifically, like I post stand-up clips, podcast clips. That's what you're going to see.
Right.
A couple stories will be about the girlfriend. A couple stories will be about the dog. A lot about the dog. Too much about the dog.
I always just assume that if you're a normal person that you're posting more about your life. I think that because I'm looking at it from our side where we're all like content creators, but I guess it's been a while.
I mean some people just don't care. My brother is on zero social media.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
I know. I love when I meet a guy and they're not on social. I'm like, best thing to happen ever.
Yeah. It's great because I'll show him a meme from 7 years ago and he'll be so entertained by it. He'd be like, this is great. And I go, yeah, man, it was fantastic.
It just helps like from a dating perspective. It also just helps like if you break up, you're not going to have to like worry about stalking their social media because like nothing's there. It's kind of, it's liberating.
So yeah. I agree. Just ask. And you could always do it in a playful way, like, oh, are you dating anyone?
Totally.
And if they're like, yeah, like, oh, I'd like, tell me more about them. And if they're like, no, why? You'd be like, oh, I like have someone to set you up with.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, who? And you're like, me.
That's so cute. Yeah. That's real sweet. Yeah, that's real sweet.
That's very cute.
I like that.
That's a good approach. Yeah.
Okay,
amazing.
Great. Cool.
Love that.
One final question to ask you guys.
Yeah.
My favorite question to ask. Get ready.
Ooh.
Best piece of dating or relationship advice that you've ever received.
Okay.
Good Lord. I'm going to have to think about that.
You want to think about it? I can fire off.
Oh, you can? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Right.
So my buddy Scott, this was after, not this, the relationship I'm in now is great. The one before, there were issues. And I said I was the red flag, right? In a lot of ways. And he looked at it that, when your friend's always going to look at it like you're never at fault. You know what I mean? They're always going to be on your side. But I don't think that he understood that I was also like an asshole too, But he did say something to me that that really stuck with me, and I've never forgot it. He goes, man, the world that we live in is so tough. There's so much happening all the time. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's terrible. And you got to fight the world in a lot of ways, but the fight should end when you come home. That's where you get to put down your sword and shield and you get to be with the person you're with, and it shouldn't be a fight. It should be easy.
Yeah.
I love that.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And I agree with that.
What if you work from home so you never come home? You're just always home.
Right.
Well, then you close the laptop and that is your sword and shit. You close that laptop and be like, all right, we're going to chill.
No, I love that though. That's beautiful.
No, that's really good. Honestly, I don't know. I have a few, but I think maybe one of the ones that I received as like relationship advice was, I don't know, this is going to sound weird, but don't be afraid to lose them. Because I think when you are, and I've been guilty of this, it sometimes puts, expectation and pressure on yourself and subconsciously also on the relationship. And I think, breakups are awful. And I know that, firsthand. My last one rocked me. And I just remember thinking that I was so afraid to lose him that it almost felt like a self-fulfilling prophecy type of thing.
Yeah.
And then what happened was I was devastated. It was awful, but I did eventually find myself again. And I realized if I could get over that, I'm good. Like anybody can leave me now. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll be fine. Like, I think that was important advice for me to keep in mind, because we put so much into the person that we're dating, and we make it mean so much when we should be thinking about ourselves and like how we treat ourselves too. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I've been in that situation too, where it's like without this person, I'm nothing.
Exactly.
So I can't lose them because what would happen to me?
Yep. And I'm like, no, you are something.
Yeah,
and
you're so much.
It's nice to remember.
And you were so much before them.
Exactly. Like this person that you met a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, if they don't text me, I basically don't exist. And it's just like, you didn't know them a few weeks ago. Yeah, like you didn't know them. You were a complete and whole person before they came into your life.
You'll be a complete and whole person
It's a blip.
after.
Yeah, sometimes it's a blip in the grand scheme of things, and we let it affect so much of ourselves. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not judging. I am guilty of this. I feel deeply these things, but ultimately, that's probably the best advice.
I think being alone also gives you that time to self-actualize.
Yes. Totally.
So,
100%.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Guys, this was so fun.
This was so fun.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for trekking all the way from Brooklyn.
Not a problem.
This
wow.
was great.
This
With
was
donuts
awesome.
Yeah.
that I am about to go eat again.
Yay.
Where can everybody find you? Where can they find the podcast?
Yes, the podcast is at You Both Suck Podcast, and I am at Dara Pollack, no C in Pollack.
There we go. I'm at All Day KCA. We also have a submission form if you guys want to submit your squabbles.
These types of things.
Yes.
They crush it.
Okay, that would be amazing. If you guys want to send us some, we have a anonymous Google form, and it is anonymous. It's a Google form. It's linked on the podcast page at You Both Suck Podcast. And yeah, we will debate your problems and tell you who sucks. And a lot of times you both suck, but that's okay. We're here to learn. We're here to grow.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yay. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, daters. I hope today's episode made you feel just a little bit less alone out there, no matter what your status might be. Give your finger a break from swiping and hit that follow and review button instead. And if you have any burning questions or want to share your own dating horror stories, reach out to seeingotherpeoplepodcast@gmail.com. And in the meantime, keep on seeing other people.